Hey everyone, so this is Chicago PD season 4 episode 20 or episode 1, not 21. And it's titled The Silo. So this parts of this episode are a continuation of the season finale of season 3. And basically in the season finale, the third season finale, the the case intelligence was working on revealed the woman involved with the case was in touch with Justin Voight's son. Um, Justin went missing, but then was found in the trunk of his car with with a gunshot wound to his head. And even though he is brought to the hospital, Justin ends up dying, causing Voight to hunt down and kill the guy who killed Justin. Before Voight kills the guy, Lindsay tries to stop him, but he tells her to just drive away, since she could get in a lot of trouble if she stays. And as she drives away, she hears the gunshot, even though it's raining. So anyway, so that's the background for parts of this episode, because that is a continuation of that. And then, so Voight is then seen in front of Justin's grave and thinks about his grandson's first birthday. And then Lindsay wakes up from a nightmare about that night. And I think Halstead's apartment, I don't know. And I think she had gotten a call from Crowley. And so she meets Crowley, and Crowley says she knows Lindsay and Voight were pinged right here via where they are, via the geographical locations of their cars. And so Lindsay lies and said Voight goes to where they are on occasion to clear his head. But and he come out there after she had took intelligence off the case of when Justin was killed or found, and then when Justin died. So he went there after they she took them off the case, and she further says they only talked after figuring out, excuse me, that after figuring out where he was. Crowley says she knows Voight took her and got off the streets at the age of 15, but she shouldn't sacrifice her life and career for him. Intelligence is called to the scene of a car fire a little while later, and it belonged to a guy named Ted Burner, who is 55 years old with no priors. Turns out it's his son Evan, who's burned alive in the car, or I don't know, I wouldn't say burned alive in the car, but burned in the car because Ted shows up, and it looks like the kid, his son Evan, was wearing a police wire. Ted doesn't know why his son would be wearing one. So yeah, there's that. And then Lindsay asks how Voight is. He said he's fine, and that he needs to be back at work because work is helping him or whatever. Voight asks if there was anything else she wanted to say, and since she seems to want to say something else, she lies, in my opinion, and says there isn't. Burgess then gets her new partner Julie Tay, via Platt. But before Julie arrives, she's wondering why Julie was on a specific route that she worked, but doesn't get any information. And Evans, Ruzek, and Olinsky don't find anything yet, but Ted and his daughter Allie come in like a minute or two later. Ruzek asks her questions about if he was working with the police since he was wearing a wire that police use. She says that the police are crooked and asks shouldn't you know why he was wearing one if it was a police issue. Then Burgess is seen trying to figure out why Julie was given a certain patrol job. Right as Julie is about to tell her, they get a call that they need to get to and respond to, which is close by. Someone is getting assaulted in a black car. Before they can get the guy in the car and arrest him, he drives off, and so they chase him and find the woman that was in the car, who walks away having been pushed out. So they take her to Chicago Med. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge at Chicago Med, the Chicago Med show. That aired its first season last year. Anyway, so they get her inside, and once she's being treated, Julie mentions that the tags on the rear bumper were yellow, which means that the car was either purchased at an auction or out of state. Voight then tries to talk to Lindsay, but she doesn't say anything about her meeting with Crowley. And then it's revealed that the wire Evan was wearing was CPD issue, like we didn't already know that. Excuse me. Olinsky says that there was something off or up with the sister, and they should run a check on her. Atwater revealed she was picked up by a narcotics officer named Ricci 2 weeks prior, but basically it seems like it was a catch and release, meaning that, I guess in a way, if the officer has something that wants the suspect or the person who was arrested to do something, they can make their charges go away, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I thought at the time, before I got any more information. Before they can do much else, Mouse tells Crowley is on the line for Voight, but he says to take a message. Then Olinsky and Ruzek go back to the burner's house and confront her about her being brought in. Ruzek and Olinsky posit that the hostility coming from her that's directed at CPDs because of what Ricci may have done to her. Allie says she had Molly, and which she got from a friend at a concert, and Ricci told her that because Allie was in 1,000 feet of a school, it's a Class X felony, and Allie would have gotten 10 years for it. But Ricci told her that if she did buy from a dealer Ricci was trying to bust, that would make the Class X felony go away. She told Evan this, and he said he would do it for her instead of her doing it. So Ricci said she didn't care who did it as long as it got done. Or else Allie would go to jail. Then the next thing Allie knew, she heard Evan was burned to death in the car. Halstead and Lindsay confront Ricci about Evan, and they tell her he's dead. Ricci said she tried to contact him, but she hadn't heard anything back. Lindsay says she thinks Ricci is just trying to cover her ass. And Ricci is like shocked and is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And so Lindsay just tells her off by saying she can talk to Ricci however she feels, because Ricci made Allie believe she would get 10 years for a dime bag. Lindsay's words, not mine. Lindsay basically schools her with her knowledge of narcotics, which makes Ricci say she cut some corners. So Halstead asks who the dealer is, and it's this guy named Connor Wicks. And before they leave, Lindsay says to Ricci that she bets Ricci knew Evan was killed the previous day and was hoping that it wouldn't connect back to her. Ricci fires back with, "You work for Hank Voight and you're lecturing me?" I'm just like, ha! This girl's fucking all full of damn sass today. Like, damn. Anyway, so Voight goes home and gets some news from Olive, who is her grandson's baby mama, or Justin's baby mama, basically, before he died. And Olive says that he's moving her and her son to Scottsdale, Arizona, because she said her sister lives there, because she can't stand living in Chicago, because everywhere she looks, Justin is everywhere she looks, So I can't really blame her for that, because I'd probably do the same thing if I was in her shoes. That's just me though. I probably would have done the same thing. I mean, if I had the opportunity to stay with someone for a little while in another city, a complete another city in a complete another state, I would do that. That way I can, like, get my bearings without having to be reminded of my baby daddy all the time and everything. So that's just me though. Halstead then tries to talk to Lindsay about what she's going through, and tells them about what Crowley told her. And she says she knows enough about that night that could land Voight in jail. Halstead then says that she shouldn't go down for him, basically, which she shouldn't. I mean, yeah, he saved her life, but he's about to fucking take it down with you. Your life is about to, or let me rephrase that. Your life is about to be taken down yet again by his hand, though. By his hand, by what he did. So why the fuck are you going to not for him just because he happened to save your life at one point or another? Like, your life is about to be shot down anyway because of him. So why are you, like, I don't know. So then before she leaves, he asks her to move in with him. They've been a couple for a while now, so if you didn't know, or if you forgot, they've been a couple for at least 6 months, I think. Anyway, so Atwater and Dawson are following Wicks. Atwater then asks for advice about being called in to talk about the night Justin was killed. And Dawson says to let his rep handle it. Wicks then comes out, makes a phone call, and they have the number traced. Before I go on, I'm just like, Dawson, I loved you in the beginning, and now I don't know. He's starting to kind of get on my nerves. He's really starting to get kind of on my nerves here, because I'm just like, I get that you admire the guy. I get you admire him. I get it. But that does not mean everyone should lose their life or figuratively lose their life and literally lose their jobs over this guy just because he broke all the fucking rules. I mean, in normal circumstances, I wouldn't care that he broke the rules. I'll be all for, break the damn rules. I would be all for it. But, I mean, and I get that it's his son, but, I mean, I get that Justin was his son, but damn, like, he's literally what he's literally doing is putting almost everyone else's jobs in jeopardy because he had to go hunt down this dude. Because he had to. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't feel the need to want to do that myself, but I mean, there's I don't know, I just felt like he kind of put everyone else's lives and jobs in jeopardy because of his own selfish wants and needs this time. And I don't know, I just felt like, I mean, yeah, well, no, but like pretty much almost everyone else wasn't there when he shot Bingham. That, and Lindsay was the only one who was anywhere near it. That, I mean, you're still putting everyone else's lives and career in jeopardy because of your selfish actions. That's exactly what you're doing. You're putting everyone else's lives and careers in jeopardy because of you. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that. Had to get that out. I kind of had to get that out. So Burner is then, waiting there for answers, and Voight says that he's doing everything he can to make sure that they get the person who killed his son. Back at the hospital, Julie and Burgess are waiting on news about the victim they brought in. Burgess apologizes for hesitating with firing a weapon, and she explains the only reason why she did was because, she shot a weapon a few months prior, and she almost lost her job because of it. Julie then says it's fine. Burgess says she's glad that they're partners, and Julie says, let's see how long that lasts. And Burgess is like, well, why? And Julie explains that 2 years prior, she was working in the 24th precinct under Commander Fogel. The one night, after leaving a bar, she ran into him in the parking lot, and he tried to kiss her. She pushed him off, but she says that after doing that, she didn't file a report against him, and because of that, she got sent to writing tickets at the courthouse. And just then, a guy in a White Sox baseball cap walks by, and Julie notices it. She remembers that there was a White Sox decal in the back of the window, and thinks that will help narrow down where the car came from. So then goes to Ruzick, explaining to everyone that a prostitute named Nikki Keller is working for Wicks. Seems to be a person to look into. So White asks where Lindsay is. Halstead lies and says that she's working on the case. Atwater finds out that Nikki and Wicks have a 3-year-old child together, and who was taken by CPS. At CPS, Nikki comes in, having been told about an officer with a son. She goes into a private room, and Voight is in there asking if she ever wants to see her kid again. Lindsay asks goes to the spot where Voight killed Bingham, who killed Justin, seemingly thinking about what to do. Then back at the precinct, Ricci tells Halstead and Lindsay that she had confessed to what she did and didn't do recently. Julie and Burgess then are seen looking at the car with Platt's help. And then they find an auto body shop where they think the guy brought it in, but the owner said he brought it in earlier, but he told the guy that he wouldn't be able to fix it until the next day because that's when the parts would be in that he needed. So he suggested that the guy go down the street, and basically he's lying about the car, because Julie's walking around the place and finds the car that they're looking for. So they get a name from the guy, the owner, and go find the guy that assaulted the woman in the hospital and arrest him. Then it goes to Dawson Voight questioning Nikki. She says she didn't know everything Wicks did and didn't know Wicks killed the kid. She eventually agrees to help bring down Wicks, and during the operation, Wicks gets spooked, runs, but they end up catching him. And as they put him in the back of the car, one of the cars, Crowley drives up, asks Voight to come with her, and they drive Voight to the place where he killed Bingham. She asks him to tell him where the body is so they can cut a deal, but if he doesn't, then it's not going to happen. But he doesn't. So she orders him to, orders the people there to dig up the place and everything. Then Olinsky and Ruzek go up to the burners and tell them the good news that the man who killed Evan has been arrested. Burgess and Julie then go up to the victim in the hospital, have her identify who attacked her, tell her that they already got the guy, and everything. So we leave the hospital, run into Commander Fogel, and the dude is seriously fucking creepy. I have a note about him later. Anyway, so Bingham's body isn't there when they dig up the mound of earth and everything. Makes me think Lindsay, moved the body. Voight then goes to Lindsay's place and says, thank you. says he saved her before she could die at 15 on the streets, and she was just looking forward to the time to save his. And he says that she's all he has left, basically, since Olive took his grandson to Arizona. So I want to note that I don't think this is the last time we'll see Commander Fogel. I believe that we're going to see him attempt to either kiss or have sex or sexually touch another woman, possibly even Julie herself, again, since she's not at the courthouse writing tickets anymore. So I believe he's gonna, try to, kiss, sexually touch, or try to have sexual intercourse with another woman in the future. And this time, he's going to be there's going to be a complaint filed against him and or charges brought against him. And it could possibly even go to trial. So that's what I think is going to happen. Cause I don't think this is going to be the last time we see him. Cause I got that fucking creepy ass vibe from him when I saw him. I just don't think it's going to be the last time we see of him, because we saw that he was surprised to see Julie there in the hospital, so far away from the courthouse where he had her transferred, and everything. So like I said, I don't think this is going to be the last time we see him at all, and it's most likely going to be because of the fact that he tried to kiss, sexually touch, and or have sex with another woman. And so, or at least another female police officer, not just a woman in general, female police officer, because if he tried to kiss Julie, then I doubt he's gonna just stop at her. I doubt he's done this to multiple female officers, let alone women in general who aren't on the force. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen next week, obviously, but I think it's gonna be one of those season-long recurring plot arcs. It's gonna happen throughout the season, possibly even until the season finale. But yeah, I definitely think this is gonna be a season-long story arc, like a plot point, season-long plot point. And we're definitely gonna see him at least once by the time they leave for winter break, or their winter break, or if we don't, then we're gonna see him right after they come back from winter break. So that's my theory on him anyway. Now, as far as next week's episode goes, the next week's episode is titled Made a Wrong Turn, and basically what happens is there's this white woman who's gone missing in a black ghetto, and they're thinking it could ignite the city into irrevocably bad hostilities with not only each other but with the police, because of racial tensions. Not really much I can really predict on that. The only thing I can really feasibly think of at the moment is that she didn't really go missing in the black ghetto at all. If anything, she is hiding out somewhere far away from the black ghetto, and she and she, you know, just made it that was just the last place that she was seen. I think she could possibly even be completely safe and fine somewhere else, probably on the outskirts of the city, like the suburbs or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, that's my whole thing, is that she possibly, that's the only I can really come up with, is that she's most likely fine. She has not been kidnapped or hurt or anything by anybody in the black ghetto or anything. So that's just me and my theory of what is possibly going to happen next week in next week's episode, because that's the only thing I can really come up with. Other than that, not really much I can do to predict anything. And so basically, yeah, so that's all I can come up with for Chicago PD at the moment. So until next week, hit like if you like this video, hit subscribe if you want to see more of the videos like this. Drop a comment in the comments below to talk about this week's episode and what could happen in next week's episode because of the promo. And I will link my Patreon and my Instagram down below. And as per usual with my Instagram, you will have to request to follow me. And if I feel like you're someone who isn't running a fake, or not really fake, but a spam fitness account, try to get as many followers as possible, I will approve you. Most likely I'll approve you if you're not one of those fitness people or fitness accounts. So with that said, I will see you in next week's episode of Chicago PD, and I will recap and review it then. So I'll see you later. Bye, guys.